For months, the world held its breath. A shadow crept across Eastern Europe as the war dragged on. Each day a new headline of conflict and uncertainty. Tensions, once simmering, had boiled over. Russia's advance seemed relentless, pushing deeper, testing the resolve of nations who watched with growing alarm. But America did not just watch. It stood firm, a beacon in the storm, rallying a coalition of allies united by a single, powerful ideal: the unwavering defense of freedom. The stakes were higher than ever before. This wasn't just about territory, it was about the very principles that underpinned the modern world. Every diplomatic cable, every troop movement, was a move in a global chess match where the price of a single mistake could be catastrophic. The air was thick with a heavy sense of foreboding, yet amidst the darkness, a quiet determination was hardening into an unbreakable shield. The world needed a hero, and history was about to answer the call. Then came the final. This is Decisive week, the moment that would turn the tide. In the quiet, humming server rooms deep within U.S. intelligence headquarters, a breakthrough occurred. A team of the world's most brilliant cryptographers, working tirelessly day and night, had achieved the impossible. They had cracked Russia's heavily encrypted communication system. It was like finding the master key to a fortress. Suddenly, the fog of war lifted. Every coded message, every secret order, every planned maneuver was laid bare. It wasn't just a piece of the puzzle. It was the entire battle plan, from the highest echelons of command down to the individual platoon leaders. The strategic advantage was immense. A once-in-a-generation opportunity to end the conflict with precision and minimal bloodshed. The path forward was now clear, and the plan that was set in motion would be remembered for ages. It was time for Liberty Shield. With the enemy's playbook in hand, American forces launched Operation Liberty Shield. This wasn't a traditional frontal assault. It was a symphony of modern warfare, a coordinated cyber and airstrike of unprecedented scale and sophistication. The first wave was digital. Elite cyber warriors unleashed a torrent of code that surgically dismantled Russia's missile network from the inside out. One by one, launch systems went dark, command links were severed, and the entire framework of their offensive capability was neutralized without a single physical explosion on their soil. The primary goal was clear: protect innocent lives. While the digital ghosts were at work, the skies filled with a different kind of protector. A new generation of advanced drones, piloted by the U.S. Air Force's most elite units, formed a protective canopy over Allied cities. These silent guardians patrolled the heavens, their sensors scanning for any threat, ready to intercept any rogue element that might have slipped through the digital net. On Tegron, the third phase of the operation was unfolding. Special operations teams, the best of the best, moved with speed and stealth under the cover of darkness. Their mission, to secure key border crossings and strategic choke points, cutting off any potential retreat or reinforcement routes. It was a multi-layered defense, a testament to strategy over brute force. The effect was swift and devastating. The turning point arrived not with a massive battle, but with a chilling, dawning realization in the Russian command centers. Their supply lines, the lifeblood of any army, had vanished. The intricate network of logistics that fed their war machine fuel, ammunition, and food had been systematically severed by precise, targeted strikes based on the intelligence gathered. The consequences were immediate. One by one, their formidable tanks sputtered to a halt, their fuel tanks running dry in the middle of foreign fields. On air bases, advanced fighter jets and bombers were grounded, becoming nothing more than expensive metal statues. They had wings but no fuel to fly, cannons but no shells to fire. With their physical resources depleted, the most critical element of all began to collapse. Morale. Soldiers, cut off and without orders, felt a sense of abandonment. The once unshakable confidence of their commanders dissolved into confusion and desperation. Their war machine hadn't just been defeated. It had been completely As Russia's military might ground to a halt, the diplomatic pressure cooker reached its boiling point. The international community, now unified and emboldened by the success of Operation Liberty Shield, spoke with one voice. Sanctions tightened, resolutions were passed, and the global call for an end to the aggression became a deafening roar. World leaders, who had once been hesitant, now stood shoulder to shoulder with the American-led coalition, demanding an immediate cessation of hostilities. Trapped by a paralyzed army on the front and overwhelming political isolation from the world, the Russian leadership was cornered. There were no moves left to make. The bluff had been called. The game was over. With no other option, they agreed to the terms. A ceasefire was signed. The document, just a few pages of ink on paper, represented the end of a nightmare and the beginning of a new dawn. The war was over. When the news broke, it rippled across the globe like a seismic wave of relief. From the bustling streets of Tokyo to the historic squares of Paris, people poured out to celebrate. But nowhere was the celebration more profound than in Washington, D.C., and across the United States. The city, which had been the nerve center of the global response, erupted in a joyous, spontaneous festival of relief. The tension that had gripped the nation for months finally broke. Strangers hugged in the streets. Flags waved from every window, and the sound of car horns and cheering filled the air. This was more than just a victory. America hadn't simply won a war. It had done something far more significant. It had defended the very idea of a world where nations can choose their own destiny. It had preserved global peace, not through overwhelming destruction, but through superior strategy, technological brilliance, and the unbreakable unity of allies. It was a victory for intelligence over aggression, for precision over brute force, and above all, it was a powerful, resounding affirmation of an unwavering belief. The timeless principle that freedom, no matter the threat, must always and will always prevail. Thank you for watching this story of courage and strategy. If you found this inspiring, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more content that explores the moments that define our world. We'll see you in the next one.